have the same conversation 47 times this year. A fight promoter calls me frustrated. They've been chasing sponsors for months. Email sent, calls made, decks presented. Nothing. And they always say the same thing. Brands just don't get combat sports. So I asked them 2 questions, just 2, and 9 times out of 10, silence. And those 2 questions are the reason you don't have sponsors. And by the end of this video, you're never going to get caught without an answer again. Let me set the scene. The call usually starts the same way. Someone's built something they are genuinely proud of. Good fights, real fans, events that are growing, and they cannot figure out why brands keep saying no. They've done everything they think they are supposed to do. They made a deck, they sent emails, they got on calls. Some of them have even hired someone to help with sales. Still nothing. And the frustration is real. I understand it completely because combat sports is genuinely undervalued in the sponsorship world. The audience is loyal, passionate, and massively underserved by mainstream brands. So why won't brands come in? I used to think it was because brands didn't understand the space, that it was an education problem, that if we could just get the right person in the right meeting and show them the numbers, they'd get it. But after being in this space for 2 decades, building promotions, negotiating deals, and having this exact conversation more times than I can count, I realized something. It's not an education problem, it's a foundation problem. Here are the 2 questions I ask every time. First, what's your schedule for the next 12 months? And second, who is your distribution partner? That's it. 2 questions. And when I ask them, one of 3 things happens. Some people have clear answer. Those people are usually already getting sponsors or close to it. Some people have a partial answer. They have one, but not the other. Those people are struggling, but it's fixable. And most people go quiet. I don't say that to embarrass anyone. I say it because silence is the most honest answer I can get. Because if you can answer those 2 questions in 30 seconds, you already know why the brands are saying no. Let me explain what those questions are really asking, because it's not about the information on the surface. When a brand asks about your schedule, what they are really asking is, are you serious or are you just winging this? Here's something most promoters don't fully appreciate. Brands plan their marketing budgets months or sometimes years in advance. Sometimes a full year, sometimes longer. And when a sponsor attaches to an event, they need time to build campaigns around it, plan activations, brief their creative team, get internal approvals, justify the spend to their CFO. That process takes time, real time. And if you're going event to event with no clear calendar, you're not asking a brand to sponsor you. You're asking them to trust chaos. And no brand manager in the world is going to take that to their boss and survive the meeting. A schedule is not just logistics. A schedule is proof that you run a real business. And when they ask about distribution, who is your broadcast or streaming partner, what they're really asking is, will anyone actually see our logo? This is the one that kills more sponsorship conversations than anything else. Because here's the hard truth. It doesn't matter how exciting your fights are. It doesn't matter how passionate your fans are. It doesn't matter how good your production looks if no one's watching. If a brand can point to a specific platform and say, our logo is going to be seen by X number of people on this network, internally, they can justify the spend. When promoters tell me their distribution is clips on social, or we're going on a streaming deal, or we post everything on YouTube, I have to be honest with them. That's not distribution. That's hope. Distribution is a deal, a real agreement with a platform or network or streaming partner where your content lives, where eyeballs are already going, where a brand can show up with confidence. Get that deal first. Then go pitch sponsors. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because even when promoters have a schedule and distribution sorted, most of them still lose the sponsorship conversation. And the reason is this: they think sponsorship is about what they need, and it's not. Sponsorship is entirely about what the brand gets. I've sat across from brand managers who genuinely wanted to get into combat sports. They liked the space. They saw the audience. They were open to conversation. And then the promoter walks them through a deck that is essentially a list of everything the promotion wants, the money they need, the fees they are charging, the exposure they think they deserve. The brand sits there thinking, okay, but What do I get out of this? Why does this make my brand better? Why would my customer care that we are sponsoring you? Those questions need to be answered before they're asked, not after. Let me give you the actual framework, the stuff that turns a sponsorship conversation from a pitch into real partnership. After you can answer the schedule and distribution questions, and only after, here's what you need to have ready. Your real numbers. Not that it went viral or we had a great response, actual viewership, actual attendance, actual social media engagement rates. Brands have seen every version of inflated metrics in every sport. They're not impressed by big claims. They are impressed by honest data that they can verify. And they are impressed if they hear about it from other people, not just you. They also want to see your inventory breakdown. What exactly are you selling? Canvas placement, broadcast mentions, digital integration, hospitality, walk-in rights. The more specific you are about what a brand is buying, the easier it is for them to say yes. Vague packages create vague commitments. Your differentiation answer. This is the one most promoters completely fumble. You need to be able to answer clearly, compellingly, and quickly why a brand would look cooler being associated with you than with someone 10 times bigger. What do you offer that they can get from a major promotion or a major boxing card? Is it community? Is it a specific demographic? Is it a story you're telling that nobody else is telling? Is it a fighter you have that nobody else is able to get? Is it access to authenticity that a bigger promotion can offer? Find that answer and put it at the front of every conversation. And finally, the why you question. Why should a sponsor choose your promotion over someone with more reach, more history, and more credibility? This is where creative thinking matters more than anything else. You are almost certainly not the biggest option, so you need to be the most interesting option, the most targeted option, the option that makes the most sense for a specific brand that has a specific customer they are trying to reach. And here's something I want to address directly because I hear it constantly. People in the space say the problem is that agencies and salespeople aren't interested in combat sports. And that's true, and it's real. But there is more money and less headache in selling NFL or NBA or tennis sponsorship. The infrastructure is bigger, the deals are cleaner, and the brands are already familiar with the landscape. So it's harder for us. I won't pretend otherwise. But here is what I keep pointing people to when they use that reason to give up. Look at smaller combat sports organizations in other countries that are selling out arenas consistently. Organizations that don't have the UFC's brand or Matchroom's history or the machine behind them, but they still figured it out. They have real sponsors and they're profitable. And you might be asking how they do it. They didn't do it by having better fights than everyone else. They did it by building the foundation first. Proper schedule, proper distribution, proof of real fan demand through actual ticket sales. And then once those things were in place, they brought in experienced operators in the sales department who knew how to get out and sell. You cannot skip the foundation and expect sales to save you. The best salesperson in the world cannot close a sponsorship deal for a promotion that can't answer the two questions. Let me give you exactly what to do. Not theory, but actual steps. So step 1, lock in your schedule, even if it's just for events. And obviously, you need a budget for that. So lock in that as well. Put real dates on a real calendar for the next 12 months. Brands need predictability. Give it to them. Step 2, get a real distribution partner. Not we're in talks with this guy and that guy or exploring options. An actual signed agreement with a platform or network where brands can point to and say, our logo lives here in front of this audience on this date. If you don't have this, go get it before you pitch anyone. And then step 3, build a proper sponsorship deck. Not a pretty PDF with your logo and some photos. A document that includes your schedule, your distribution deal, your real viewership numbers, your social metrics, your inventory options with pricing, and differentiation answer. Make it easy for them to say yes, that they feel stupid saying no. And step 4, prove fan demand. Sell tickets. I know that sounds obvious, but ticket sales are the most credible signal you can give a brand that real people care about what you're doing. If you can fill a room, why would a brand believe that their customers care? Step 5, answer the why you question. Do the creative thinking. Figure out what makes your promotion genuinely interesting to a specific type of brand. Don't try to appeal to everyone. Find the brands whose customer is your fan. Own the angle completely. And step 6, get people who know how to sell. If you can afford an experienced sponsorship salesperson, hire one. If you can't, and most promotions at the regional level can't, look at who else is reaching your demographic and explore package deals. Who else is selling to males 18 to 39 in your market? Partner with them. Combine your reach, make the math work for the brand. And here's the bottom line. The fight industry is small. Agencies aren't lined up to help us. The structural advantages that the NFL and NBA have built over decades don't exist in our space. But that's not the reason promotions can't get sponsors. The reason is that most promotions are trying to sell something they haven't built yet. Build the foundation, get the schedule, get the distribution, prove that real fans care. Give your sales team ammunition they can actually use. And then answer the questions. Because the moment you can answer those questions without hesitating, you're not a fight promoter chasing sponsors anymore. You're a media property with something real to sell. And this is exactly the kind of breakdown I do every week in my newsletter. Practical, tactical, behind the scenes stuff, which actually moves the needle for people building in the space. If you want it every week, link is in the description. Free, no fluff, just the real work. And if this opened your eyes to why the sponsorship conversation keeps stalling, hit subscribe and smash the like button, because next week I'm going in deeper on how the promotions that are winning right now are structuring their deals differently than everyone else. See you there.